It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the E, so I could get some phones. Rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
We're joined in studio by a true West Coast legend, the pioneer of G-Funk era, a hit maker, and a storyteller whose music helped shape a generation. Please help me extend a very warm welcome to the regulator himself, Warren G.
Much love.
Yes, thank you for being here today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no, this is such an honor. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. What was the motivation that inspired you to get into music?
I mean, all of the groups before me, you know, like the 70s and 80s groups like the Isleys and Cameo and the Whispers and groups like that, all the way to, you know, even like Run DMC, LA Dream Team, World Class Wrecking Crew, Eazy-E, just all of those groups, you know, they all inspire me, you know, along with my father turning me on to jazz music. That was a big inspiration, and it helped mold me as far as a producer, as far as the type of sound that I do, which is, you know, some feel good music. But all those things are what you know, inspired me to get into music, and then just watching, you know, guys like Dre when he was with NWA, because, you know, he was kin to me. Well, he's kin to me. I say he was kin. He's kin to me. And just, I mean, all of those, you know, groups from back then, and then as well, like I said, as well as Dre again, who showed me and taught me how to DJ.
Nice.
So, you know, that along with all the music that was being played when they had their DJ crew, the music they was playing inspired me too.
Yeah.
So it was a whole bunch of you know, just the groups from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, those were your major inspirations. And I feel like we can hear that in your music. Like all those inspiring groups that you mentioned and artists that you mentioned, we hear that in your music. And I want to ask about growing up in Long Beach. I'm a Long Beach girly. I grew up on 8th and Elm, 9th and Olive.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how did growing up in Long Beach help shape your sound and your story for your music? Was it like an environmental thing? What was the inspiration for you?
Yeah, it shaped and you know, just the environment in Long Beach is different from anywhere else. You know, you got a lot of, you know, it's a lot of different nationalities in Long Beach, and just being able to, you know, you have the beach, you got, you know, all these different areas there that all contribute to it being different, you know. And Long Beach is just I can't explain it like everybody say. It must be something in the water.
Yes.
You know, but you know, Long Beach is a very special place. A lot of good people, a lot of family people there, and you know, that's where I was born and raised. You know, I was born in Long Beach, so it's just a good city.
Yeah,
you know,
it really is. Yeah. So I know that. Okay, so G-Funk, I feel like has a very special, smooth, melodic sound, and we kind of know where that inspiration came from. You listening to the Isleys and music from the 70s and all of that. That sound actually shaped an era in hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Which allowed you to kind of create your own lane in hip hop. That was very different than your stepbrother Dre's.
Yeah.
Was that something that you leaned into naturally? And I kind of feel like I know the answer to this, or was it something that you consciously made a decision to do just to, you know, have that separation? You want your own sound. You're your own man, your own artist.
Yeah. I wanted to, you know, create my own lane and not have people say, well, the only reason why he got put on is because of Dre and this, that, and this. But, you know, but So I wanted to just create my own sound, my own everything, within but without, but still a part of.
Yeah.
And I did that. I do hard music too. I don't just do just smooth everything. I do music that's hard too.
Yeah.
Gangster music, super gangster, hard gangster. Smooth gangster. I just wanted to be different and not have people put that tag on me like he Dre folks. So
Right.
that's the only reason why he's doing what he doing. I built my own lane and I made my own name.
Absolutely.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
A brand and an era, like we said in hip hop.
I had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
take us back to the day in the studio when you made Regulate. What was that creative process like? And did you know that it would become such a cultural moment and movement at the time?
Well, I didn't know it was going to, still be playing 30-something years later.
Yes.
I knew it was a good record. That whole thing, that whole day started out for me doing what I usually do. I usually take off early on a Saturday. I hit all of the record stores, dig through crates and find different records, and I take them out, buy them, load them in the car, hit the next spot.
Okay.
Digging through records, load up, and push on. So what happened was I was done for the day, went up to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles to grab me a bite on the way home, and there was a cat out there with a crate full of records. I asked him how much was the records, and he was like, such and such. I said, man, let me buy the whole crate. So I cashed him out for the whole crate, took the crate home and started digging through my records, and one of the records I was digging and came across was Michael McDonald and the Doobie Brothers. I keep forgetting. And pulled it out, and I was like, I played it, and I was like, oh my God, this, because my parents used to bang it.
Okay.
So it was a song that was familiar to me and brought back memories to me as a kid. And I was like, what if I flip this? It'd be way different. So I did. I sampled it, chopped it up, and just and went on. I was a fan of the Young Guns movie, and just happened. I don't even know how this happened. I just was watching the movie and I heard the dude say regulators. We regulate any stealing this property. And, and he didn't say it like that. Actually, I can't say the whole line because it was a long line before he said those different parts that I used on the intro of Regulate. Right. But I took each part, I sampled it in my MPC 60. I took my RCA Jack's quarter-inch from the back of the VCR into my MPC 60 and looked at the numbers on the VCR, and I sampled each time, each one I wanted, I sampled it.
Okay, and you just cut it up that way.
Yeah. After I sampled the parts I liked, I took them and put them on the pads and truncated them to what I wanted it to say. And that's how the intro was created to it at the same time.
Iconic. Yeah. No, I feel like that's I think that says a lot that you grew up listening to that song, but in that moment, you had that aha time, that aha moment.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how it was, I say, divine timing.
Yes, indeed.
It was time to go.
Oh, yeah.
Looking back, how do you feel that your contributions have helped hip-hop evolve?
I feel great because I see a lot of the inspiration, I see a lot of G-Funk inspired artists out there and groups and things like that. Like most of the artists today is doing the same style that I came with and created. The smooth kind of like it's rapping, but it kind of feel like I'm singing at the same time.
Yeah.
But that just the cadence that I was doing and the whole nine. You got dudes, like look at Drake.
I was just gonna
look
say
at Kendrick.
Drake.
Look at all these guys, the way they rapping and they music. I was doing that. I was like, one of the guys that pioneered that style.
That style, absolutely.
And then pioneered as well. He was right there with me because he was singing music that people wasn't doing, was scared to do.
Right.
So he was telling his feelings on how he felt and singing it. Like if he had to talk some shit, he would.
He was gonna sing it.
He was gonna say it.
And
Yeah, he's gonna sing it.
And make it sound so
Yeah,
smooth.
yes,
and good.
indeed.
Yeah. What were some of the most memorable moments before the fame between you and Dre leading up to your success as far as producing and making tracks? I know you mentioned DJing. What were some memorable moments that stuck out to you?
You know, him showing me how to DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just him being a older brother, because I didn't have no brothers. You know, I just got my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, just having somebody to be able to look up to. Him and my brother Tyree. Actually, Tyree, both of them I looked up to.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, they inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, you know, we had a lot of good moments, you know, just at family functions and, you know, stuff like that, you know, which also helped me mold into what I do, my other passion, which is barbecue sauces and rubs and
I
barbecue.
saw that on your Instagram page. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he getting down. Like
Oh, yeah.
you're busy on the grill.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Just seasoned up some oxtails. I used some of that Sniffin' Griffin's all-purpose rub on here. I'm gonna let these babies go. I'm gonna show y'all how they fall apart when I'm finished with it. You know, I put a little something on them. Just a little secret. Just hit them up real quick. I put a little bit of this good oil on it. You know, just to hold the rub in a little better. But hey, getting ready to cook these oxtails. I'm gonna show y'all how to get down with these. Get down with these, must I say. Sniffin' Griffins, fool. Better ask somebody. Church.
Yeah.
Sniffin' Griffins. And, you know, that from the functions that we used to have, and my dad would be cooking and making a lot of good food, that all inspired me as well to do that. You know what I mean? And when I'm around my friends, I like to cook and have fun and do things like that. So all of that, you know, like I was saying, you know, just having a big brother to, you know, somebody to look up to,
Right.
you know, besides my father, because I looked up to my dad in a major way too. And I still, you know, I look up to him still. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still like a little kid to him.
To your dad. Yeah.
You know, I still act like a little kid when I'm around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean you know, it's you know, it was just cool to have a bigger brother and somebody that could you know, guide me in the right direction.
Right.
You know, and so I wouldn't get caught up too much.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But I was still roaming.
You was really.
I was all over.
You were outside.
From Long Beach to Compton.
Outside.
Yeah, outside off the porch.
No, I feel like family is such a important part, and you show that part of your journey a lot, like on your Instagram, your kid and your wife, and
Yes,
you guys
indeed.
and then also you and your friends go out fishing, and you're very active.
Yeah, just having fun.
Yeah, you're very active.
Gotta be active. You know, I'm getting older. I'm still young, but I ain't. You know, I'm just right there where I'm like in the middle of everybody,
Yeah.
middle of these people and these people,
Yeah.
the young and the old. I'm in the middle, older. I ain't gonna say old, but I'm, you know, just. And you know, but at the same time, I look at it as musically, it ain't no age in music. You know, you
Right.
could be 70 years old. If you make something that catch on and everybody love it, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
We
that's-
see that. And the business of music has changed so much since like the golden years where you found your success and everything was, you know, you guys were at the top. Do
Yes,
you, and
indeed.
you still are, do you still have love for the industry, or how has your passion or opinion of the industry evolved or changed throughout the years, being that it's so different now?
I still got major love for the industry. I ain't gonna never stop having love for it. because it's what made me who I am.
Right.
And you know, the good times, the bad times in it, it all formed me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I still love it. The AI is coming in a
Yeah.
lot, coming in hot.
It is coming in. It's
So,
here.
you know, I just gotta change with the times. You know, if that's the way things are gonna start to change, then that's, you know, I gotta adapt, but still
Adapt, yeah.
use this style and the things I did analog and still bring it over here to this AI world at the same time to elevate it.
And you're still very hands-on. Like I've seen stuff on your socials where you're in the studio, you're
Yeah.
mixing, you're doing things yourself. How important is that for you, just to still have that hands-on, even with the evolution of technology and music?
I mean, it's very important, you know, for somebody like me as a producer to know what I want to do, and do it,
And how you
know,
want it to
and
sound.
want it to sound, and you know, I have like my homeboys around just to, you know, tell me like, you know, they'll be like, Warren, it's
Okay.
all right.
They're doing
You
a
know,
sound check.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
And you know, but then if it's ladies in the studio, I look at what the ladies how
React
they
to.
move. If they dancing to it and they loving it, sorry fellas, I'm gonna have to take this right here, this opinion, because they the ones that's gonna buy the music.
Right.
You
That's
guys
true.
is just gonna talk y'all stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so the ladies is honest too. They, you know, they major honest.
Yeah. No, those the ladies' anthems usually do very well.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we
Yes,
lean
indeed.
into it. We are going to support.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get into some of your music, your new music. You have "Life Is Beautiful" and "Streets Ain't the Same." Tell us about those tracks and any other.
Actually, "Life Is Beautiful" is just a record I had just I did just to talk about like the youth, and how we don't have like, you know, older guys really trying to teach the younger generation, you know, like we was taught.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, these cats is kind of hard headed. They don't want to listen, and a lot of it is due to drugs. You know what I mean? We wasn't taking drugs like that. We would drink some beer, some Hennessy, or some smoke some weed, but we was never on like like popping pills and
Yeah, it's different.
drinking codeine and doing meth and snorting cocaine. We wasn't doing that.
Yeah, the party culture is a
You know,
lot different.
people that was doing that type of stuff was considered a cluck. That's what we used to call them, clucks. And you know, there's a lot of the new generation is I hate to say it, but it's like they clucks, and that wasn't how it was supposed to go. You guys are supposed to not get involved in that like that. You know, not do drugs, and I ain't saying sell them either.
Right.
Just try to be you know, grow up to be good young men and young women. You know, like, you know, I don't down you know, these new artists. I got major love for a lot of them, as you can see. Like I did with Ice Wear Vezo, I got on the record with him. You know, I called him. I said, man, send me an open verse. And he sent it. I laid it, and it's moving. It's moving all over the nation. And but I mean, it's a trip.
Yeah.
Man.
And speaking of like mentorship and just how you try to pour into the younger generation, I want to highlight some of your lyrics. You said, I just got off the phone with the banker talking stocks and bonds, blocks and acres, and that was Let Me Breathe with Zoe Osama.
Yeah.
I believe I got those lyrics right. I got as close as I could.
Just got off the phone with bankers talking stocks and buying up blocks and acres. Like,
There you go.
basically, that's just saying to the youth this is what you guys need to be doing. Go and buy property, build portfolios, you know, get into the stock game, learn that, because it's just like if you was in the dope game, but it's a legal game,
Right.
and you don't risk going to jail forever or somebody killing you. Even though that stuff can happen in the stocks too. Now, if you
Yeah.
out there flossing after you done made all that money, you know, things can happen, but it's all legal. You doing this all legal, and the money that you make as a kid, as a young artist, start investing. You know,
Right.
so you don't have an artist, you know, saying that they this, that, and this, or they broke, or you know, complaining. You know, you do, you know, like I've seen artists, you know, talking about other artists, they ain't got no money and they ain't this, that, and this, and it's like, okay, they gave you an advance, didn't they? Yeah. Okay, what did you do with that advance? I bought a car. I did this, I did that. Went and bought some clothes. I did this. You gotta invest. I invested in myself. My first advance was like, I think it was either 325,000 or 350,000.
Okay.
The first thing I did was went straight to Nadine's and bought equipment, so I could save money. You know, so I went there so I could save money, and I was like, shit. You guys could give me the studio, you know, the money, you know, write that off. Because the studio is right here in my house, in my apartment. I ain't spending, you know, $1,500 a day in the lab
For studio time.
for studio time.
Wow. That was
Yeah.
really smart.
And that's I invested in myself, and
Very
it
smart.
turned out to be good.
So speaking of the newer generation, who do you like today musically? Like what crop of West Coast rappers especially are you into right now?
I mean, I like all of the young West Coast rappers. It's just good to see them,
Yeah.
you know, trying to carry on the torch, you know, and I think that's really dope, and it's a lot of them out there.
Yes.
You know, back in our day, it wasn't a whole bunch out there.
Yeah,
Now
you guys
today-
just dominated that
Yeah,
space. Yeah.
but you had to be different. It wasn't easy. You know, you had to really have some dope music to get put on. These days, you could just go. We could sit right here and make up something, and then just blast it to the internet right here, right now.
Yeah.
It may catch.
What are your thoughts on the? I don't know if I should ask if you feel comfortable answering this. What are your thoughts on the Drake and Kendrick beef? How do you think
It
that?
is what it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's just, it's a rap battle. You know, I ain't taking nobody's sides. It's just two dudes getting a rap battle on. I don't think it has went as far as like court and lawyers and all that shit. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
you know, I think just as far as like a battle, a friendly battle, that was, you know, dope. You know, because hip hop has always been like that. And
Right.
it's always been competitive, and sometimes somebody might say something like throw a shot. You throw a shot, then you know don't think it ain't gonna come back. So, but it, like I said, that's hip hop.
Right.
You know, and it ain't, you know, to create violence or anything like that. It's just a friendly battle, and whoever win, take it on the chin. You know, if it was me and I was going at it with one of them, I'd have and I lost, which I wouldn't have lost.
You wanna?
But I would have took it on the chin. I wouldn't have went that no further. That's it.
Yeah. I like the term friendly battle.
Friendly battle.
Yeah. There was no
Friendly battle.
violence,
No violence.
and that's ideally how it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, we had a lot of battles like that where it didn't end up into, you know, violence and stuff like that. Like you had Jay-Z and Nas, NWA and Ice Cube. That was I don't know though. That was that was a serious. Both sides was making some cold songs, some dope songs, and
Yeah.
it would have been you know, it was a couple of scrapples here and there, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't to where people wanted to kill each other or anything like that, or none of that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and still, you know, even though everybody was saying we was beefing with Easy, Easy used to come by the house damn near almost every morning asking Warren. He called me Professor. He's like, "Where's Professor? Where Andre at?" He come by, zoom, and I'm like, "Shit, he gone to L.A. somewhere." All right, tell him I came by,
Oh wow.
cause
Okay.
he lived on the hill right here.
Mm-hmm.
The front door of Andre house, Easy backyard was right there, so he could have walked his back gate and look right down at the front door if he wanted
Hmm.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So it
I
wasn't
mean,
what.
they had their little differences, but it wasn't. He ain't hate Easy.
Okay.
You know, that's we grew up with him. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I've always loved Easy. He was always my guy. I
Mm-hmm.
never had no static with him. You
Mm.
know, and it wasn't that uh, you know that hardcore like that hate. It wasn't that when only thing that you know, it was just upsetting about, you know, like once again, like uh, lawsuits and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
contract issues. So that would make a person upset,
Yeah.
you know, because I've been upset about contractual
Mm-hmm.
issues. But other than that, you know, you know, motherfuckers didn't want to kill each other, do nothing
Right.
like that. Okay, we're
Right.
gonna talk some shit here and there. You know, if we see each other, we may get it in a little bit. You know, ain't nothing. You
And then
know,
it's
take it on the chin
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
You lose, you lose.
Mm. Yeah. But now, if you had a magic time machine, if you
Uh-huh.
could go back in time, what would you go back and tell yourself the first day you got signed?
Uh, hmm, I'd have told myself to uh, be more on top of my business as far as with myself with the record company,
Okay.
because I did a lot of things for Def Jam that I never got anything for. I let them use my name other than me. I let them use my name with different things and different artists within there that I didn't get compensated for. So I wish I was more up on my business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they made a lot of money off of using my name, and I never got compensated for
Wow.
that. Even though I had my own pot over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't mind the people who they asked if was it okay,
Mm-hmm.
and because I know them, and I gave them a shot, and they
Right.
got put on because of me, so I didn't mind. But they wasn't signed to me; they were signed to somebody else. Now, if they were signed to me, it'd have been way different still. But they were signed to somebody else and within the system. So it's like, damn, y'all use not the group, but the
Mm-hmm.
company. You guys used me to push this group and sold records with this group, and I didn't get nothing out of it because they not signed under me or my company. It was cross
Mm-hmm.
promotion, and just staying on top of everything. And I would have done a deal to where I was already a master, even though I'm a master, I'm a master publishing owner.
Okay.
I would have did a deal where I was more straight with the masters. So
Okay.
when the reversion came, I'm already half in with my master. So this other half comes after that.
Okay.
You know, you guys been living off me for this long, so now
Right.
that other half come this way. But it didn't work like that, and they still control my masters. I own my master publishing, but they still control the master, which is being reverted. It's going to be reverted back to me
Okay.
within the next 4 years.
So you're working that out.
Yeah, I'm working on that right
Okay.
now. I'm working on my reversion, and it's overdue. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's time for me to live off of all the blood, sweat, and tears that I put in.
Okay.
And once I'm able to get my masters back, I can just sit back and just make sure everybody who was involved in all the records that I did, make sure they getting their money,
Right.
having administered distributing to
Mm-hmm.
all of those artists. And that's some game right there for
Yeah.
y'all hear that?
Speaking
But
of game, I want to talk about. You said you are a master publishing. Or
I
can you
own my
explain?
master publishing.
Okay, explain that for those that don't know.
That's your masters.
Oh,
Your
okay.
masters is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all. That's your work. Like that's
Right.
you. But most of the companies own that. But you still get your. If you, I'm still kind of an owner, but not an owner.
Okay.
I own my master publishing, but I'm trying to get the masters, all of it,
Back.
back to me. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I still get paid from master from my
Mm-hmm.
masters from my masters everything.
Okay.
But once I can have it all, it's gonna be lovely.
That
You know,
is.
it's
Yeah.
cool now. You know, I ain't saying I ain't. You know that they ain't treating me right because they do. They you know, but I put in a lot of work and helped a company that went bankrupt rise back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that by me uh, doing that, they would gift it back to me or something.
Oh.
They ain't gifted shit. They don't.
They said no
These
gifts.
these companies don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so it just made me look at the whole thing different. And then the people I helped out as far as at the company, you know, I don't get no calls from, from it was the executives, the high executives up. Back then, don't none of them call me. One of them called me and was like, "Thank you for helping me take care of my family
Mm.
and getting my kids through college and all that." That was kind of like a slap in the face.
I was gonna say that
I'm not
sounds like
gonna
a
throw him
slap in
out
the.
there, the person out there. I ain't gonna throw him under the bus, but
Okay.
I felt like that was fucked up, because I helped you guys this, that, and this, and if I come to you and say, okay, talk to these people to try to tell them that I need this back, that I should be able to get that
Mm-hmm.
because of what I did. This is a multi-million dollar, a billion-dollar company, and just But Def Jam, holler at me by the way, cause I heard some things. So y'all need to holler at Warren. Let me come back in there and get that company back up on its wheels again. I know how to do it. I love talented artists. I know how to get the best out there, and they need to holler at me about that so I can help what's currently going on from what I've heard.
Mm.
Let me revamp it.
That would be awesome.
Let me be the head guy
The
over there now.
president.
The
Yeah.
president.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we
Warren G
seen.
for president.
There you go. Def Jam. You heard him. So new music, new projects. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
What do you have going on?
I have I'm working on the Sir Cool EP. Got a lot of great artists. Right now, currently, I got a record out there with Icewear Vezo. It's called Streets Ain't the Same.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake of Regulate. My cousins and friends was sending this to me, and I'm like, man, who is this? Then mix and switch my shit up.
So you didn't know about it
No, I
before.
didn't know. So I listened to it and I was like, oh, this shit is kind of dope. So I hit him, DM'd him, said, look, man, send me an open verse. He shot it to me and I bust,
Nice.
my verse on there. And right now it's all over the country, and it's picking up really heavy. The buzz is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. And I'm working on the Sir Cool EP.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the reason behind Sir Cool is a lot of people always be like, Warren, you a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually my nickname that was given to me at a young age, back in the day. Me being the young guy, I was always cool back then. So everybody started calling me Sir Cool. I used to have a jacket with I had my Scorpio. I used to press the Scorpio
Yeah.
on the back of the Cascade jacket. And then I had the Old English Sir Cool right here on the front left pocket. And so that's always been a nickname of mine. Even though I'm Warren G, but I'm doing a Sir Cool EP. I'm always gonna be Warren G, but Sir Cool was a nickname that I had that really, meant a lot to me, and I it stuck with me.
Yeah. No, you are cool. You got this cool vibe to
Thanks.
you. Yeah.
Thanks. And I'm working on that. I got a lot of great artists on the Sir Cool EP. I got Wiz Khalifa,
Oh.
Snoop, Corrupt. Man, I got so many different people. I got a record actually that I did for the Sir Cool EP. It's called All Alone, which was with Wheezy, Lil Wayne, dope record, and his people asked me could he have it for the Carter 6. So I told them hell yeah. So if they use it on the Carter 6, that would be really dope. If not, then I use it on the Sir Cool EP. But it's a really good record.
Okay.
I mean, it's a like baby say, it's a stunner.
Okay. We're looking forward to that
Yeah,
one.
so
Yeah.
I got a lot of good people on there.
When can we expect to hear it?
Well, I mean, I got a lot of it done.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we just I'm taking these last like the next. We starting to set up. I got the Wiz record. Me and Wiz got a record that's in the pipeline that's being set up. Cause that's the record I'm gonna move with. I think I want to roll with that record just in case the record I got with Wayne is used on the Carter 6. Me and Wiz got one right there. That's an actual anthem.
Nice.
It's just as good as the one with Lil Wayne. It's a really dope record.
West Coast anthem.
It's a worldwide anthem. I
Love
promise
that.
you.
Okay.
And it's something that everybody will be able to vibe to and kind of soothe what we're going through right now a little bit, and but still be aware and just live life.
Right.
You know what I mean, and enjoy it. You know what I mean.
Okay. We are looking forward to it.
I got to do it.
Where can everyone find you, connect with you, and your music? Let us know.
You can find me on all social media platforms, Warren G. Except for I forgot what they call it now. Twitter. They changed it.
It's
Yeah,
X
they
now.
changed the name.
Right.
So,
We also say Twitter though.
yeah. On Twitter is at Regulator. Other than that, it's Warren G. TikTok is Warren G Funk.
Yeah.
But other than that, all the other social media platforms is Warren G.
Warren. Okay. Warren
Or
G.
just Google me.
There you go. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thanks for all the gems and
It's
the
all good.
game you dropped today.
Thank you guys for
Shared with
having me.
everybody. Yeah, it's our pleasure. It's an
Yes,
honor.
indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Check this out. This is Warren G, and you've just been buzzed.